It's all nightmare meat. Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk with Tom. It's me, my name is Tom. My hair, I don't even know what my hair is doing today, honestly. Anyways, Invader Zim, if you've ever been to Hot Topic, you know what it is. You've seen it. Maybe you don't know what it is, but you've seen it, okay? And if you don't know what it is, then I'll explain it to you. The 2000s, the early 2000s, that was quite the time. Internet was still the Wild West, where your friends showed you videos on funnyjunk.com instead of YouTube, because YouTube either wasn't around or hadn't been, like, popularized yet. That's a weird word to just throw out of nowhere. It's hard to get it out of my mouth. Popular kids. That was a thing, too. The whole high school, middle school hierarchy in general, it was still a thing. It's like, are you a nerd? Are you a goth kid? Are you a jock? Are you a preppy? Are you a metalhead, egghead, skinhead? Hopefully not that. Yikes. And also, people are just calling everything gay, and it wasn't in the endearing way that everyone's calling things gay now.
Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those hands.
Please don't say that. This pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
But most importantly, the early 2000s were the peak of edginess being like mainstream. Now it's like, if you say something's edgy, it's meant to be in like a sarcastic way. It's like, ooh, so edgy. It's meant to be kind of a joke, but back then it was cool to be edgy. You know, edginess is like the mullet of the early 2000s. Everyone thought it was so cool back then, but now, not so much. If you look at Invader Zim, the cartoon, it was great for reasons beyond it being quote-unquote edgy, but if you ask me, that's probably a big reason why it got the cult-like following it has today. It's because it came into the world, it came into our culture at the right time. God was up there and he was like, alright, everyone down there is being edgy, so I'm gonna just slide them this cartoon, and they'll be happy, and they'll make it super popular, and they'll get a cult-like following. The story of Invader Zim is it's about an incompetent alien named Zim, and he just sucks at being an alien invader, so they were like, you know what, let's just send you to Earth. Let's just do that, because that's easy. You know, in science fiction, Earth is always like the easy target. We're always either like the America, where it's like, oh, we're just like super military power, stronger than everyone else, or we're like America, where everyone's like, man, Earth is stupid. So Zim is sent to Earth by the tallest, and the tallest are the leaders of his race of people, and they're the leaders because they're the tallest, which I take offense to personally, because I'm vertically challenged. You know, I'd never make it in such a society. Actually, how tall do people think I am? Like, just in your brain, tell me how tall you think I am in the comments below. Like, am I 4'2"? Because if you think so, then you're actually pretty close. So Zim comes to Earth. He assimilates to Earth culture as best as he can, and that's where a lot of the humor comes from. It's a fish out of water story. He's trying to assimilate. He'll get like an idea of how things work on Earth, and he'll just kind of like make his interpretation of it, and that kind of comes out like a parody, which it's like, yo, that's actually pretty clever. And at the same time, he's also terrorizing his peers, because he's a evil alien. But he's also gotta remain low-key, so he's gotta be like sneaky about it. He's like, ooh, I'ma getcha. It's like, in the classroom, he's like, hey kid, I'ma getcha. And then his kid's like, teacher, Zim said he's gonna get me. And then the teacher's like, shut up, kid. I don't get paid enough for this. He specifically targets a kid named Dib, and Dib is the edgiest edgelord there is. I mean, not at the time, though. Dib is more comparable to, like, your modern-day edgelord, where he learns a bunch of things on the internet, and he thinks he's smarter than everyone else, and it's like, bruh, we all got Wi-Fi. You ain't that smart. Dib is the type of dude who would wear a fedora and a trench coat. Actually does wear a trench coat, so check that off the list. Logic for the win. And then there's Gur. And Gur was once like the funniest thing to me. Like, I used to go on YouTube and look up Gur compilations, and I would think they were the funniest thing ever. And now whenever I do it, I can keep a straight face the whole time, not even trying. Maybe it's just because I watched all the compilations, so I know all the jokes and I've heard them a million times, but I don't know. I'd like to think my humor is more refined now, and that's why I don't find it funny anymore, but the truth probably is, my sense of humor is just as stupid as it was then. So some other notable characters include Dib's sister, Gaz. I mean, she's kinda angsty, and she makes fun of the main characters, which makes her endearing. And then you got Dib's dad, Professor Membrane. He's a mad scientist. And then you have the teacher, who's some interdimensional being that is not explained. And almost everyone else is just like dumb. Like they're all sheeple. All the main characters are the woke ones. They're ones who are like awake to society. They're either like Dib, where they're like, yo, I know what's going on. I know the aliens are here, and I'm not crazy for thinking that, because look, there's an alien right there. And then you got like his sister, who's also woke because she's on the main cast, but like she just doesn't care. So it's like she's cool because she's like, I know we're in danger, but I don't care. I don't care if there's aliens. I'm too cool for that. Too cool to concern myself with these aliens. That's not actually how her character comes across, but like that's how I feel like the origin comes from, like that mindset where it's like, yo, I know we're gonna die, but I'm too cool to concern myself. The storytelling of Invader Zim was often based on like one super weird, absurd, sometimes even LOL random aspect that they would just build an entire narrative around. And they would concoct these ideas with like the goal of making the audience like weirded out or grossed out or just plain uncomfortable. And they would mix that up with like an everyday situation. Like they would be like, oh, I've gotta go to this meeting, get this thing signed. Or, yo, we gotta turn into salami. Actually, it was bologna. It's all the same to me. I worked in a deli. They're all nightmare meats. And I'm gonna be honest, for me, this strategy was pretty hit or miss. Apparently, I'm like the only person who thinks that. Because I remember a lot of episodes where they would introduce something and it'd be like, yo, are you uncomfortable? I'm like, not really. At this point, I'm just kind of bored because this is the whole episode. Meanwhile, I talk to other people and they're like, yo, I thought that episode was great. I thought it was amazing. Because for me, it's like there's those like super memorable plot lines, like the episode where they turned into bologna, the episode where Dib was trapped in a parking garage, the one where that one kid died, but he was like, I'm okay, but he was actually supposed to die. But the network was like, no. Like, there were some standout episodes. But I remember whenever I'd, like, catch it rerunning on Nicktoons or whatever, years after the fact. In fact, you can probably still catch it rerunning on something. I don't know. I don't watch cable. I'm a millennial. We don't consume media like that anymore. I have to get on my time through streaming services or websites I find on Google, which are totally legal. But I would just always catch an episode where it's like, Zim works at a fast food place. And that's it. Bruh, it's not interesting. Sometimes it would just depend on like how weird of a concept they could come up with. Sometimes it would be like really gross and weird and it would be like, oh geez, I'm gonna have nightmares about that. And those were good episodes. Those were the episodes where I was like, yo, this is a good show. But then there are times where it just wouldn't trigger any type of emotional reaction on me, so I'd just be like, one I specifically remember is the career day one, because it was like, the whole idea was the fact that Zim was gonna go through like this molting process because he was on a different planet, and there was like a equinox going on, and it was like he's getting acne, and like towards the end he just like, it's all just like ooze all over the place, and like, this isn't even really that gross, honestly. It's just kind of happening. Like, stuff just kind of happened. It was like Dib with his paranormal investigator guy where he's like, oh look, there's cows, the cow is trying to tell us something, and then Dib's like, no, we gotta go and get Zim, he's an alien, I'm telling you. And then he goes and chases after Count Chocula while Zim is like physically molting and having an allergic reaction thing going on. And it's just that's the whole thing. It's like there aren't any stakes for me to invest in. Like, the really good episodes, which are the ones that people remember, are the ones that like rip you with how gross it is and how like disturbing it is. And that's because like you want to see the characters escape the circumstances, and the thing that really invests you in it is the fact that sometimes they don't. Like, I keep bringing up the one where they turn into bologna because they just turn into bologna. The process starts and then they're like, we have to fix it, we need to find a way to reverse this or else we're going to turn into bologna. And then they never figure it out. But regardless, the idea that like they have to live the rest of their life now as bologna, even though it's not going to change the status quo of the show and it's just a one-off episode, like, it's still like the concept of it is disturbing and it's creepy. And the concepts like that where you want to see them escape the circumstances, those are ones that really get you because you start to have a personal investment in it. But the ones where it's just kind of like, something kind of not great is gonna happen, and then everyone's just gonna have to deal with it in this absurd world where crazy bad stuff happens on a regular basis. It doesn't really do much. I'm just like, eh. Anyways, what do you guys think of Invader Zim? Tell me in the comments below. Tweet me and TommyQM. I don't really got anything left to say. Outro. Thank you for watching Let's Talk with Tom on the Roundtable, but Tom isn't just on the Roundtable. I have my own self-titled personal channel. I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, I have a Snapchat, I have all that good stuff. In fact, I even have a Tumblr. So, if you're interested in any of that, check that out, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!